हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यंकरवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरं। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगताम् अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। शङ्करं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरं भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वतीपतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। We shall begin with the Shanti mantra. ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः ष्टुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Hari Om. So we are seeing this beautiful Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad. It is from the Mantra Bhag portion, Mantra Bhag of Atharva Ved. It has 3 chapters of 2 sections each. And in the introductory Bhashya, Bhagwan indicates that the Guru Shishya Parampara is mentioned here, which begins from Brahma, from Ishwara himself, who gave that knowledge to Brahma, and thereafter to the disciple of Brahma. In this way, this Guru Shishya Parampara is mentioned here to indicate the greatness of this knowledge. And through this knowledge alone, we can gain moksha. Through this Brahma Vidya alone, moksha can be attained. So the Vishaya of this, the topic of this is Brahma Vidya, of this Upanishad is Brahma Vidya, and the Adhikari are those who want to gain that moksha. And through this knowledge alone we can gain moksha. That is the moksha is the prayojan, and through that knowledge we gain moksha, that is the sambandha. So now we will begin with the first mantra. So let us chant the first mantra. Om Brahma Devanam Prathamah Sambhabhuva Vishvasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta Sa Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha. Once more. Om Brahma Devanam Prathamah Sambhabhuva Vishvasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta Sa Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha. So this is the first mantra. It begins with the beautiful mantra Om. All our Upanishads begin with Om. Om is the very essence of all that is taught in the Vedas. So Om Brahma Devanam Prathamah Sambhabhuva. So Brahma is Brahmaji, the Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha, Brahma, was born first. Devanam Prathamah Sambhabhuva. Before all the Devtas, Brahma was born. And who is Brahma? Vishvasya Karta. He is the creator of this entire world. Not only creator, but Bhuvanasya Gopta. He is the protector of this world. Sa Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha. He gave this Brahma Vidya, this knowledge of Brahma, which is the very substratum of all the knowledge, to his eldest son, Atharva. So Brahma was born first. See, this world which we experience is, it doesn't remain same. It comes into manifestation and again it becomes unmanifest. That is the way the world is. It gets manifested and becomes unmanifest. So the process of manifestation is what we call the Srishti, creation. Then it is sustained for a long time. That is called Sthiti. And then it goes into unmanifestation. That is called Laya. So this Srishti, Sthiti, Laya keeps on happening of this world. It is eternal. From the beginningless time and endlessly, this world will continue to exist in this way. So when it is manifest, we see the various names and forms, the various parts of this world we experience. But when it goes into unmanifestation, it remains as Brahma only. There are no names, there are no forms, there is nothing. Only it remains as Brahma. Just as the ornaments, we see many gold ornaments, 100 varieties of them are there. Necklaces and bangles and earrings and nose rings and so many other ornaments are there. From where have they come? They have all come from gold. In fact, now also they are gold only. But before they were seen in this particular shape and form, they were just gold. Then they were converted into a particular shape, particular form, and it got a name as bangles, as necklace, etc. And then it is used for a long time. Then again it is melted. And when we melt all the bangles, all the ornaments, what happens? What remains? Gold alone remains. Then we no longer call it a bangle or a necklace or a earring. We just call it gold. Similarly, now we call this world the mountain, the rivers, the sun, the moon, the stars, the galaxies. But when it goes into unmanifestation, when the laya happens of this world, then this world is only known as Brahma, as Sat. Sadeva Saumya idam agra aset. The Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad also says, in the beginning, means before creation, the world was only Sat, was known as Sat. But after creation, it got so many other names. So this process of creation, sustenance and dissolution continuously happen. And this world is an expression of that Brahma, which is the supreme reality. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So Brahma is eternal. Therefore this world is also eternal. And the scriptures, they also say that Brahma Shakti is there because of through which the world gets manifested, it is sustained and dissolved. That Shakti, what we call Maya or Prakriti, is also eternal. So it's a most mysterious expression of that Brahma. So when the whole world is dissolved, when it remains in that unmanifest form, it remains like that for a long, long time. It remains as long as the period of Brahmaji's lifetime. Though Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, nobody is there in that Laya Avastha. No Jivas are present, no Devtas are there. So it remains in Laya, in unmanifest, for 100 years of Brahma. That much period. And once that period is over, spontaneously Brahma is born first. Therefore Brahma is also called Swayambhu. He is born first. And this we can understand from our own experience of how we go to sleep and how we just wake up. If you have seen some person asleep, a child is sleeping, so no, it doesn't get even disturbed. If it's fast asleep, doesn't get disturbed by even the sound and other things happening around. So fast asleep. Mother says, oh, he is asleep, but now it is time for him to get up. So he will get up. So at that, suddenly at a particular time, the child who is fast asleep, eyes are closed, just wakes up spontaneously. This happens for all of us. When we are asleep, we are not aware of anything. When we are in that deep sleep, dreamless sleep, we are not aware of the world, we are not aware because there is the mind, the intellect is not functioning. The senses are not functioning. We are aware of things only through the mind, the intellect, the senses. So I remain in deep sleep, separated from the Okay. So when a person is asleep, spontaneously that person wakes up. In the same way, when the whole world goes into unmanifestation, yes, it was disconnected and now I am continuing from where I left. So when a person is asleep, in deep sleep, without the help of any alarm clock or without anybody waking that person, he just wakes up spontaneously. In the same way, when the whole world goes into unmanifestation, no one is there. Only Brahma alone is there. So spontaneously From that Brahma, Brahma Ji wakes up as though is born. Therefore he is called Swayambhu, born by himself. He just wakes up. See, just as we wake up, why do we wake up? Though we are asleep, we are having a very good time in our deep sleep. There is no pain, there is no sorrow, there are no troubles. But even in deep sleep, though we are not connected to our body, our mind, our senses, our buddhi, but still the buddhi is there, with all the samskars and vasanas are there. So in order to fulfill those vasanas, again the buddhi wakes up and we continue to experience this world. In the same way, though the whole world has gone into unmanifestation, means it remains as Brahma, but still potentially all the jivas are there, all the devtas are there, their karmas are there, their desires are there, their vasanas are there, which needs to be fulfilled. So in order to again fulfill those vasanas, Brahma is born spontaneously. I hope you can hear me. Is it fine? Okay. Okay. So, Brahma is born. It is as mysterious, Brahma's birth, as this mobile, how it works. Spontaneously it disappears and spontaneously again it comes back to life. So Brahma is born. Brahma is also called Hiranyagarbha. So Hiranyagarbha, when he is born, he looks around and he doesn't find anything and anyone and gets scared. He just, Brahma means he has got a body of Panchatan Matras, not gross physical body. The 5 Tanmatras are like his body, which cannot be seen. Then he has got his mind, cosmic intellect, means total mind, total intellect, and pranas, the prana shakti. Not as pancha pranas, because there is no body, but as prana. And ahankar also. So, Brahma, he through this mind, intellect, pranas and all function, and he is scared. Then a sound comes to him from within as though that you do tapas. Tapa means think, meditate. So Brahma thinks. He just quietens his mind and just remains silent. And he remembers the past creation. The creation as it was in the past. before the world went into unmanifestation, the creation was there. The entire world was there. Just as when we wake up, we remember, oh, yesterday what I did. We look around the room and see, oh, things are just piled up here. I did not clean it before going to sleep, and it is still lying there. So I remember my previous day. When I wake up, I get connected. Similarly, Brahma also remembers the previous creation. And he also remembers that he had done tapas to become Brahma. And now he had that desire to become Brahma and be the creator of this world. So now, when he remembers the previous creation, he has got this total mind, total intellect, and total powers of Ishwara. So he is also Sarvajna, Sarvashaktiman. So remembers the past creation, and he starts the process of creation again. He grossifies the 5 tanmatras. They become the 5 gross elements: Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. And then from Brahma, from that Hiranyagarbha alone, Vaishvanara is born. And that Vaishvanara further continues with the creation. He creates the bodies of the devatas, of the rishis, sapta rishis, of then all the other beings also. So in this way, the whole world again comes into manifestation. All these are described even in our Puranas. So you should read those Puranas, which talks about the whole process of creation. And don't think these are just some stories because even science is trying to understand, and science is trying to understand this creation by neglecting the seer himself. Science tries to observe this world, and through this observation, science is trying to find out the mystery of this world. And there are many new inventions of observations which science has discovered. Like many years ago, Galileo, with his very simple telescope, could see the moons of Jupiter. Jupiter, with our naked eyes, we can see in the sky, but there are many moons around, which revolves around Jupiter, and Galileo could see 4 of them. But later on, more and more sophisticated telescopes were discovered, and they could see much more wonder of this world. First they thought only this galaxy itself is the whole world. Then they came to understand that there are other galaxies outside these galaxies. Milky Way is only one galaxy, but outside that there are other galaxies. So they keep looking into the world using more and more sophisticated equipments. Recently they have also sent a huge telescope out in space, James Webb telescope, which has gone very far, and from there it will look deeper into space to understand the mysteries of space. But science has not thought about the observer. I am observing this world, but who is this I who is observing? What is the relationship of this I with what is observed? Who is the seer? In fact, some thinking is being done on that also in quantum mechanics and all, that the seer influences what is seen. What is observed is influenced by the observer. But exactly who is the observer is not thought sincerely and seriously in science. But in Vedanta, in the Upanishad, the Upanishad not only talk about the world, but Upanishad also talks about the seer of this world. Therefore, what is said in the Upanishad is complete knowledge. Upanishad tells us what is the secret of this world and what is the secret of the observer. Upanishad doesn't neglect the world as mithya, as non-existent. Upanishad says it is existing and you are the observer. And Upanishad reveals the secret of the observer and the observed. In Gita also the observer is called Kshetrajna and the observed is called Kshetra. So when the world came into manifestation, the first one to be born is the Creator Brahma. And thereafter Vaishvanara and all the Devatas and all the other beings were born. Therefore here it is that thing is mentioned in the beginning itself, ki Om Brahma Devanam Prathamas Sambhabhuva. Among all the Devatas, among all the creation of all the other beings, Brahma was born first. So he is the eldest, he is the first, but he is also a jiva, but an enlightened jiva. After taking birth, he gained that self-knowledge and he is an enlightened jiva, means a jivan mukta, but continues with his karma of creation, creating this world, sustaining this world, and again dissolving this world, goes on and on. But he is an enlightened master. And as long as his throughout his life is prarabdha, according to that, the creation will keep on happening and being sustained and dissolved throughout Brahma's lifespan. After his 100 years, he will not be born again. Then another jiva will become Brahma. So in this way, this creation keeps on happening. So Om Brahma Devanam Prathamas Sambhabhuva. So when Brahma was born, he was scared and all. And he got this knowledge which is there in all the Upanishads. The knowledge of the Vedas was revealed to Brahma by Ishwara. Om Brahma, Om Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam, Yo Vai Vedansha Prahinoti Tasmai. So this knowledge of the Vedas was revealed to Brahma. And with the help of this knowledge only, Brahma creates this world. So Om Brahma Devanam Prathama Sambhabhuva. Vishwasya Karta. Therefore he is called the Karta of this whole world. He He creates the world as it was in the previous kalpa, in the previous srishti, as it was. Brahma creates this world. And once the world is created, Brahma lives for 100 years. Each of his year is made up of 360 days. 360 days of Brahma. 1 day of Brahma is equal to, means 1 day and night of Brahma is equal to 2000 Mahayugas or Chaturyugas. Means Satya Yug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug and Kali Yug put together is called one Chaturyug or one Mahayug. So that period, 2000 of those periods is 1 day of Brahma. So during the daytime, the creation is seen, and then Brahma goes to sleep. The world also temporarily gets dissolved. Then he wakes up, again the world is manifested. So all these things happen. Therefore he is called Vishwasya Karta. He is the creator of this world. And Bhuvanasya Gopta. He is also the protector. So he is the Hiranyagarbha. And that Hiranyagarbha alone expresses as Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. So as Brahma creates, as Vishnu he protects, as Mahesh he again dissolves the world. And again creates, again protects, again dissolves. So during his lifetime, he creates this world many times. Every day when Brahma wakes up, he creates a world. So in 1 year of his life, he creates the world for 360 times. And in his whole lifetime, he creates for 36,000 times. So Vishwasya Karta, Bhuvanasya Gopta. So this knowledge which we will be studying in this Upanishad, which is part of that Vedas, which is the very essence of all the Vedas. Because ultimately the Vedas, though it talks about dharma, it talks about karma, it talks about so many topics are there, but the essential knowledge is of that Supreme Self only. Ultimately, we have to know ourselves. So that self-knowledge was given to Brahma spontaneously by Ishwara. And the same knowledge which Brahma got from Ishwara, he gave this to his own son. Sa Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtam Atharvaya Jeshta Putraya Praha. In one of the creation, Brahma creates, as I said, the world many times. So in one of his creation, the first one to be born as his son was Atharva. So to Atharva he gave that knowledge. Which knowledge? Brahma Vidya, which is Sarva Vidya Pratishtha, which is the very substratum of all the Vidya. He gave this to his eldest son. Shankaracharya ji has written a commentary on this, so we will read that commentary also and understand. Brahma parivrudo mahan dharmadhyana vairagya aishwaryaihi sarvan anyan atisheta iti. This Brahma, who is great, Mahan, Dharma Jnana Vairagyaihi, he is greater than every other devata and all in terms of dharma, in terms of jnana, in terms of vairagya, in terms of aishwarya. Brahma, Hiranyagarbha, is the greatest. Hiranyagarbha alone, as I said, expresses as Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So among all the devatas, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are the top, the great. They are the main devatas. They are great compared to all the other devatas in terms of dharma, in terms of knowledge, in terms of vairagya, and all other prosperity. Sarvan anyan atisheta iti. And that Brahma was born before other devatas. Devanam Dyotanavatam Indradinam Prathamo. Before all the other devatas, born before them, and also first among them also in terms of all these great qualities. So gunaihi pradhanaha san prathamo agreva sambabhuva abhivyaktaha samyak swatantrena iti abhiprayaha. So by himself Brahma was born. He was born spontaneously. But all other jivas, they are born they are made to take birth according to their karmas, according to their vasanas. Na tatha dharma vashat samsarinaha anne jayante. All the other beings are born according to their samskars, according to their vasanas. Then they are made to take birth. But Brahma himself is born spontaneously. So his birth is different. And the birth of all the other beings are different. Vishwasya sarvasya jagatah karta utpadayita. And Brahma is the creator of this entire world. This world is created systematically and in a particular sequence. Later on, the Upanishad will briefly talk about the sequence also. So first what happens, then what happens, then what happens, then what happens. So in a particular sequence, the world is created. So Vishwasya Sarvasya Jagatah Karta Utpadayita Bhuvanasya. And then in this world there are a lot of lokas are there. Bhuvanas they are called. Different bhuvanas are there. Various levels of existence, various levels of experiences, different lokas. Like this Prithvi Loka, Swarga Loka, and Atal Vital, lower Loka, Atal Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Rasatal, Patal, and all, and higher worlds also. So there are this many lokas are there, above and below. And all these lokas are also protected by Brahma, by Hiranyagarbha. So he is called the Gopta. Gopta means the protector of all these lokas. So bhuvanasya utpannasya gopta palayita iti visheshanam brahmanaha vidyastutaye. So all this is said about Brahma so that we can appreciate, we can understand, and we can appreciate the value of this knowledge. That this knowledge which we are getting in the Upanishad is not some ordinary knowledge. This is the same knowledge which is obtained by Brahma, the ultimate, the supreme. Nobody is greater than that Brahma, Jiva. Is the greatest Devata. So he himself received this knowledge from Ishwara, from that Brahma. So to indicate the greatness of this knowledge, to praise this knowledge, this has been said. So sa evam prakhyatam hatvo Brahma, Brahma vidyam, Brahmanaha paramatmanaha vidyam. So such a great Brahma, he gave this knowledge to his own son. And this knowledge is called Brahma Vidya. Why it is called Brahma Vidya? Because Brahma is also the name of that supreme reality. So this knowledge is of that supreme reality. Ena aksharam purusham veda satyam. This is that knowledge by which we come to directly realize that supreme reality, that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Therefore it is called Brahma Vidya. It is also called Brahma Vidya because it has been given by Brahma, the firstborn. Iti Visheshanat Paramatma Vishaya hi sa Brahmana va agrajena ukta. It is been revealed by Brahma, the first, the eldest, the greatest. Therefore this knowledge is called Brahma Vidya. Two reasons. One is because it reveals the knowledge of that Brahma, the supreme reality. And second reason, because it is revealed by Brahma, the eldest. Tam sarva vidya pratishtham. And this knowledge is the very basis, the substratum of all knowledge. Whatever we know, the very substratum of that, all that we know, see, behind everything we know, the knower is there. Nobody can know anything without the knower. If anyone knows anything in this world, the knower must be there. And the knowledge of that knower is the basis of all that is known. Without knowing the knower, whatever we know is totally senseless only. Is totally senseless or incomplete. Without knowing the knower, whatever is known is incomplete. It's not proper. Therefore, it is filled with lot of confusion. Therefore, in the field of science also, they keep on discovering new things every now and then. And they have different theories. Because more and more things are observed, so they have to come up with a new theory to explain everything. The more they observe, the more theories they come up with. So with this telescope and all, we observe things further and further away. And the more far away we observe, the more we are observing it in the past. When you look at a star in the sky, you are not looking at the star as it is now, but as it was many years ago. For example, the nearest star other than our sun is that Centauri Proxima. It is 4 light years away. So when you look at that star, what you see now is what it was 4 years ago. And they can see much further. So whatever we see is only the observed world only. The more and more we see, the more and more we have finer equipment, we can see more. But however much we see, the mystery of the observer will always remain. So that knowledge of that observer is the very substratum of all knowledge. The essence of the observer is the substratum of all knowledge. Therefore, it's called Sarva Vidya Pratishtham. Also, it is said that once you know this, you will know the secret of everything. Once you know this knowledge which is revealed in the Upanishad, you will know everything in general. Sarva Vidya Abhivyakta Hetutvat Sarva Vidya Ashrayam iti ityartah Sarva Vidya Vedyam va Vastu Anaya eva Vijñāyate iti Ena Shrutam Shrutam Bhavati Amatam Matam Avidñātam Vidñātam. Once we gain this knowledge, all that was not heard, we can hear. All that was not known, we know. All that was never thought of, we come to know about. So this is the very substratum of all knowledge. It's like many gold ornaments are there, and you know all the names and all the forms of all the ornaments. But suppose you don't know gold, then you don't know anything properly. But once I know gold, then I know the essence of all the ornaments. Even those which are not seen, I know they're nothing but gold. Iti shrutehe sarva vidya pratishtham iti cha stauti. So in this way, this knowledge is being praised here, so that we get inspired to learn, to focus our attention on acquiring this knowledge, which is so very great. So this knowledge, Vidyam Atharvaya Jeshta Putraya Praha. Brahma gave this knowledge to his own son. See, a father has got that love for his own son and will give what is best, what is most precious, what is most valuable, what he thinks is most valuable. Nowadays, parents and all, they think money is valuable or some land is valuable. But here Brahma, who is the wisest and the most intelligent and most dharmic, he knows everything. He knows that this knowledge is the ultimate. If I give this knowledge to my son, then it will be the most wonderful gift for my son. That will bless him completely, make him free from this samsara. No other gift is as valuable as self-knowledge. So he gave this to his son. So this also to indicate the value of this knowledge. Many times the parents may get something, but they may not consider it valuable, so they may not give it to their son or to anybody. But here, Brahma got it from Ishwara. He knows the value of it, and he gave it to his son. So, Jeshtascha asau putraha anekeshu brahmanaha. So, among all, this eldest son, Brahma gave this. So, Shrushti prakareshu अन्यतमस्य सृष्टि प्रकारस्य प्रमुखे Purvam Atharva. So many times the world was created. So in one of the creation, Atharva was the eldest son. So he gave this knowledge to Atharva. Iti jeshta jeshtaha tasmai jeshta putraya praha uktavan. So then when this Atharva got this knowledge, what did he do? He pursued that path and gained that complete benefit from this knowledge, but he didn't keep that knowledge to himself. He gave it to a fit disciple. And that disciple again gave it to his disciple. So in this way, the parampara of this knowledge began, which began from Brahma, came down to Atharva, and then continued till it reached our own teacher, and it is reaching us. So we should consider the great value and importance of this knowledge and study it sincerely with proper faith, giving it first preference in our life. Okay, so more about this we will see in our class on Monday. Okay, next class will be on Monday, same time, 12 to 1. So till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana, and listen to this pravachan again, contemplate, meditate, share with your friends, with various groups, and we shall meet again on Monday. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, 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 Jaya Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Boliye Syavar Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.